Okay, today's toy review is going to be on Clementine by McFarlane Toys, and this is, of course, the main. Well, I guess she's not always the main character, but to me, she's the main character. Main character from Telltale's adventure games, The Walking Dead, which are based more on the comic than a TV show. And so Clementine was an original character for that, but she ended up being just my favorite character across anything, with the comics, TV show, whatever. Like, Clementine, hands down, favorite character. So I really, really wanted to get this little action figure of her. It was an exclusive to Skybound, and it came out kind of a while back. So I guess it's a little bit more expensive. Usually, I think McFarlane Toys are usually like $14.99. Okay, well, this cost me like $32.50 or something to order it off of eBay, but that was the cheapest price that I ever found it for anywhere. So I thought, oh wow, I mean, I might as well go ahead, as much as I don't want to pay $32.50 for such a small figure. And the figure, really, it's very simple. There's not a whole lot going on, but I just like Clementine so much that I had to. I knew that if I didn't get Clementine, I'd feel really bad. I would just feel like, I don't know, incomplete. so I had to get it. Now let's go ahead and take a look at her accessories first. She comes with 3 accessories. First up is her backpack, and this, of course, looks just like her backpack, same color and everything. And I don't know, maybe it's just the lighting, but I feel it even kind of looks cell shaded. I know it's weird because that just means they use maybe brighter paints. I don't know. It's just, to me, it looks just the way it does in the game. Just the way the light catches it and all the shadow, like it just, I don't know. I think really good job. I've never really been. I don't think I've ever felt like I had to praise a backpack before, but I think they did a really good job. So this looks really awesome, and obviously the straps come out, so you could have her wear it, but also she can hold it by the handle as well. So that came out really well. And then she has a gun, which in a lot of ways it's terrible. This little 11-year-old girl has to have a gun, but that's a zombie apocalypse for you. Anyways, nice detail on there, despite it being so tiny, and nice paint, black on the grip and then silver for everything else. Looks just like her gun, so I'm happy with that. And she comes with her hammer, and the scene in which you get this hammer, basically, without giving any spoilers, if you haven't played the game, she's locked in the shed. I love that whole thing. Like, I really liked that piece of gameplay. And that was from the season 2 of the games, and well, I really like that whole thing. So I really like that they go ahead and give her this hammer, and it looks very nice. Now for the character herself, as far as articulation goes, there's not much. It's actually really, really simple, and I guess that's because she's really little. These figures are like maybe in that 5-inch scale, and Clementine, well, I think in the first game she's 9 years old, and by the second game she's like 11, so she's a little kid, so she's not very tall. And I guess her being so small is why her articulation is so limited. But she can look left, and she can look right, and she can't look down really at all, but she can look up. The thing about that is, when you make the character look up, or really kind of turn the head at all, there's that weird little lump, like from her neck, or just the way her head is attached to her neck. And so if you make her look up, all of a sudden she gets a double chin. I don't like that. Also, the color of her skin, of her face, doesn't exactly match her neck, and that's also kind of a bummer. So I think I just have her look straight ahead. Now she's got a joint at her shoulders. She can bring her arms out about that much, but she can bring them all the way around. So pretty nice range of motion there. And then there is a single hinge at her elbow. And you get about 90 degrees, not quite. And then there's rotation there at the elbow as well. No wrist articulation at all. No waist articulation at all, like no diaphragm joint, no waist swivel. And then getting into the legs, very, very limited movement. The joints are kind of the same way that like NECA does joints, which is not really the way that McFarlane Toys does leg joints, but I guess because Clementine's small, that's what they go with. But this means that, like, man, she really can't bring her legs forward at all. Just, I mean, that's it. And they don't really go back for nothing. Then there is a joint at the knee, but with the way that her pants are sculpted with the folds and so on, that's you get like really you don't really get much, out of it there. And so aside from being able to swivel around the thighs and then being able to swivel around at the knees, that's it. If her ankles rotate, man, well, I've tried, so I'm pretty sure that they don't. So that's it, and that's it for the articulation for the whole figure. I guess I don't really mind that much, but I really would like it if you could bend her knees more. I mean, a part of it, it's just the way the pants are. It's like the creases and so on, which sculpt-wise makes the figure look very cool, but articulation-wise, very limiting, and so you can't get her into this kind of cool crouching shooting pose, or kind of like a crouching hiding pose, as well, Clementine can fight. That's usually not the plan of action, so usually she hides. That's her thing. She's a kid. So the articulation could be better, but I mean, I guess because she's so small, I don't know, I guess I kind of have to, I guess that's just how it is. For the figure itself, I think she looks really good. I don't have any other characters to do a size comparison, which is why I wanted to do this review, specifically because this is my very first Walking Dead figure. This is my first McFarlane Toys Walking Dead figure. It's not my first McFarlane Toys. That's been around since I was like in middle school, but it's my first of the Walking Dead figures, and it was something that's like I kind of want to collect them, but then I kind of don't. And if they don't make everybody, I'm gonna feel like disappointed and so on. But I think I'm gonna commit, and I think I'm gonna try and collect them all, which is scary to say. I feel like I'm trying to collect too much, and it's gonna get out of hand. And if I were to just focus on one thing, like if I just focused on aliens, I'd have tons of aliens. But trying to spread it around amongst all the stuff I like, from Marvel Legends to NECA to Funko Pops, is why my collection never really seems like it's growing. But especially when you gotta pay like $30 or twice as much for stuff on the internet. But I think I really want to start collecting these Walking Dead figures, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna start with my absolute favorite character, Clementine. And I think that she, sculpt-wise, I think she looks really great. It looks just like her. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be, her at age 11 from season 2. I feel like her shirt is a little bit more purple-ish, a little more purplish, reddish, kind of more cranberry-ish. This is more blue. But sculpt-wise and paint-wise, I think she looks great. I mean, she really does look like she's been through some tough times. Her clothes are all tattered and torn. They look really dirty. I mean, her hat looks like really messy. There's a little bit of blood splatter there. There is a variant where she does have blood splattered on her clothes and on her face, and I couldn't decide if I wanted that one or this one, which is technically supposed to be the clean version, although she's still pretty dirty looking. She looks really kind of grimy. Got this black wash over the jeans. I mean, you gotta figure they don't get to wash their clothes anywhere. And I don't know. How would you wash your clothes? Dunk them in a river, I guess, if you happen to be anywhere near a forest. And if not, then what? Just dunk them in a... if there's like a pothole full of rainwater, we just wash them in there. I don't know how you'd have the time, so I imagine everyone's clothes are dirty and grimy and gross and smelly. And that's definitely what her clothes look like to me. Her shoes look all dingy and dirty. Everything looks all dingy and dirty. Likeness wise, I guess that looks like Clementine. There's no expression. Maybe she had like a scared expression on her face. Maybe you'd be able to see it more, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. It looks fine. It with the hat and specifically her hairstyle. If if you play the game, she has a little bit longer hair, but for safety reasons, so that she doesn't get grabbed by zombies, she gets her hair cut and then like that. So all of that looks, I say it looks like Clementine. So I think that it looks very good. Articulation wise, is a little lacking, but sculpt wise, I mean, McFarlane Toys have always been like pretty awesome sculpt wise. So no surprise there, but I think that looks really good. You add in things like the backpack and the hammer and everything, and I think she'd really start to come together. And so I'm kind of excited about getting some of the characters. They do make Lee, even though story-wise it wouldn't match up with Season 1 Lee and Season 2 Clementine, but I think she looks really cool, so I'm actually really happy with it, despite the price that I paid for it being pretty much twice what these figures would ordinarily be. That's just how it is. So I don't know. I'm slightly bothered by it, but for the most part, I'm pretty okay because I really like Clementine. I think it's there's a part in I think it's Season 1, Episode 2, and she's in a barn, and the kids and another woman they're looking after like a sick cow, and and then you playing as Lee, you come in, and you just like look at stuff, you point and click on stuff, and there's a salt lick. And Clementine says, "That's a salt lick, don't lick it." And, Lee's like, "I won't." "Did you lick it?" And she's like, "I don't know." And for whatever reason, I just thought it was so funny / cute or whatever. And that, I think that's the exact moment that she endeared herself to me. But after that, I just became so concerned with protecting this kid. And I can't say that about a lot of characters in a lot of games, Maybe The Last Guardian, I was really protective of my Griffin, but before that, I mean, other games will try. I play a lot of Fallout 4, and they'll be like, "Hey, care about your kid." I don't care about my kid at all in that game. I mean, I know that's like the main motivation to do what you're supposed to be doing in that game, but I gotta tell you, I don't really feel much for Sean in Fallout 4, but man, do I care a whole hell of a lot about Clementine. So I'm actually really happy to have this figure now, and I hope to get all the other characters. I think these are pretty good, and I imagine the adults being a little bit bigger probably have better articulation, so I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, so I would recommend it if you like the game, and the games that might be kind of weird to play. I mean, for me, it's difficult because I'm used to making the right choices. Like when you play a game, you make the right choices and you get rewarded, right? If you're fast enough, your reflexes are good enough, if your aim is good enough, you know, then you get rewarded. These games, you know, much like the show, it's different. You can still make all the right choices, and people can still die, because that's just the way it is, you know, in The Walking Dead. So that takes some getting used to. You know, when you gotta get used to that idea that even if you do everything right, you're still technically gonna fail, or, you know, that you just can't save everyone. And she fell over. Thank you. To accentuate that point. Anyways, you can't save everyone, but still, I would recommend the games. Yeah, I know they got a lot of problems. If the animations aren't so hot, and there can be some glitches and so on, especially when the games first come out. But for the most part, I think they work pretty well. At the very least, I've never really had any problems. So overall, I like the games. There's 3 seasons of The Walking Dead, and I think with a 4th season coming out, where you get to go back to playing as Clementine, as you only play as her in season 2. But the games, I would recommend this figure. So, you know, if you have the chance, I say go ahead and give that a shot. Anyways, until next time, take care.